Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN TV studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight we have a boys basketball game from Durand pitting the 7-8 Colfax Vikings, who are 3-5 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, against the 13-3 Durand Panthers, who are in first place in the conference with a conference record of 8-0. The Vikings are coming off a 70-44 loss to the Mondovi Buffaloes on Tuesday, while the Panthers are coming off a 69-31 thumping of the Boyceville Bulldogs also on Tuesday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Durand Panthers and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back to Viking pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys basketball game between the Durand Panthers and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to prove that they're better than their 3-5 record indicates, especially after their 70-44 loss at the hands of the Mondovi Buffaloes. In that loss to Mondovi, the Vikings were led in scoring by 5'10 senior Bryce Sikora and 5'8 sophomore Elijah Ensminger, who each hit for 10 points. They were followed by Nathan Hajdukovic, who added 9 points. Thus far on the season, the Vikings are led in scoring by Ensminger, who's averaging nearly 12 points per game. He's followed by Hajdukovic, who's putting up almost 9 points per game. Bryce Sikora adds another 8 points per game, while Ryan Albright chips in nearly 7. Leading the way rebounding for the Vikings is Tristan Lenz, who's grabbing over 7 boards per game. He's helped by Hajdukovic and Nick Jensen, who each pull down over 4 rebounds per game. Now, the Panthers are coming off a 67-51 victory over the Boyceville Bulldogs on Tuesday. Leading the way for Durand was 6-foot junior Zach Nelson, who picked up 21 points. He was followed by Ethan Anibus, who contributed 14 points to the effort. Thus far on the season, Durand is led by Nelson, who is averaging over 14 points per game. He's followed by Gunnar Hurlbert, who averages almost 14 points per game. Other major contributors are Ethan Hurlbert and Dre Bauer, who are averaging over 13 and 8 points respectively. Gunnar Hurlbert is also the leading rebounder for the Panthers, pulling down nearly 7 boards per game. He's followed by brother Ethan, who grabs just over 6 per game. Now, coming into tonight's game, the Vikings are averaging nearly 53 points per game, while giving up an average of almost 61. The Panthers are scoring 67 points per game and surrender 51. These two teams met back on December 16th, with the Panthers coming out on top 82-40. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll on Coach's Corner. And Coach, Tuesday night, the Vikings got off to a pretty rough start against the Mondovi Buffaloes and just couldn't recover before dropping that game 70-44. What can you tell us about that game?
I'll just say that, again, it was a classic example of us getting off to a rough start early in the game. I felt like we missed some opportunities, missed some passes, missed some shots. And on the opposite end, they caught on fire. They were making threes, and that's something that they're not that strong at. That's actually their weakest part of their game is shooting the three. And they shot lights out against us on the three ball shot. And with that said, going into the game, I felt that, we had to play a really good game. Mondovi, if you just looked at them on paper, you'd say, well, they don't have that good of a record. The issue is that in the last week, they finally got all their pieces back playing. So they've been missing 2 to 3 starters all year for off and on. And against us, they had everybody there.
Well, from my vantage point, and I sit way up in the bleachers, so what do I know? But it looked kind of like the Vikings had a case of heavy legs, which could be a carryover from the really physical game they had the night before. And it seemed like the Vikings were maybe a step slow or a step late. And this was really noticeable when trying to get into rebounding position. All of a sudden, people would realize, oh my goodness, I'm not boxing anybody and come crashing through rather than being there in the first place and trying to actually box somebody out. Your thoughts about that?
I think that definitely had to play in it. That we had a game the night before on the road at Prairie Farm in a pretty fast, up-tempo game where we scored 68 points and beat Prairie Farm 68-62. I think that there was some carryover, then having to drive to Mondovi and then just not being on top of our game right away. And it's something that we are going to continue to work on with this group of young men, is getting them to understand that defensively they've got to bring it every night, and that your defense has to allow you to be able to stay in games when you're not making shots.
Now, tonight, for the Vikings, it doesn't get any easier because they take on the Dunn St. Croix Conference leading Durand Panthers, and the Panthers are 8-0 in conference play and defeated the Vikings 82-40 back on December 14th. What can you tell us about the Panthers?
Well, I think that, obviously they are the best team in the conference this year. They have, probably, I would say, what makes them really good is that they have a really good point guard. They have 2 really good wings, and they have 2 good post players that both can go inside and out. And that makes them hard to guard because at all 5 positions they're not weak. They don't have a weak spot in their starting 5, And then their first kid off the bench is a nice player too. But that's where if we can get somebody into foul trouble, get a couple kids into foul trouble, that would really help us. And that's what we've got to do. We're the kind of team that has to be aggressive. We have to be able to attack the rim and the open court. And that's when we are at our best, I feel like, when we are attacking.
Now, the last time these two teams met, the Panthers had 4 players hit double digits in scoring, which is kind of what you were alluding to, as well as Zach Nelson and Ethan Hurlbert contributing for over a dozen rebounds. What can the Vikings do to keep those guys under control?
Well, I think, number one, in the first time we played them, we did not match their intensity, but not only intensity, their physicality. I think physically they're stronger than us, and they just pushed us around. And our kids are strong too, but they're just learning how to be able to play physically. And I think hopefully we've learned some lessons and we'll see a better game from us this game tonight. With that said, I think from the start we've got to come out physical. We got to come out ready to make it a long night of being aggressive.
Now, do you think there might be a little bit of carryover from Tuesday night where the boys might be saying, hey, we're better than what this game showed. Let's go out and prove it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always our mindset. It's something that I try to do is that we try to learn from those games. The very next day, it's time to move on. We don't have time to talk about it. We have to learn from it, but we're not going to beat it down and make it a negative. We just have to learn from our mistakes and move forward and keep growing. And that's what we're trying to do. We worked on some things yesterday to improve and get better. And that's what we're going to continue to do. I really like our kids. I love their work ethic. But the number one thing is confidence. And the only way you can really have confidence is by the work that you put in, and you've got to see the ball go through the basket.
Well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings will get back on the winning column and maybe play a little bit of a spoiler at the same time. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, we have it in us. It'd be great to be able to play a game like that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Viking pregame. The Vikings are looking to get back on the winning track, especially in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. At the same time, the Durand Panthers are looking to keep their Dunn St. Croix Conference record of 8-0 unblemished. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to Durand High School, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's conference boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Durand Panthers. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin!
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Light Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Lenz with the rebound puts it up and in. Christian Lenz gets the putback shot.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking boys varsity basketball game.
And it's no good. Rebound taken down and put up and in. Ryan Albright with the rebound.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Inside, gives it off to Hoffman. Off the feet underneath. The shot goes up and in by Nathan Hajdukovic.
Yeah, good cut there by Nate.
Hey. Sorry about that little confusion there. But all of a sudden we had some problems with the computer and decided not to behave on us. But it's Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, Jeff Gust on the camera for us here at Durand High School as the Vikings are getting ready to take on the Durand Panthers. We had an extra long JV game tonight. Actually, the game wasn't so much extra long as they had trouble getting their scoreboard up and running. And so the game got off to a late start, and so it got off to a late finish, and so we're kind of
Then we had
a little late.
Parents' Night?
And
Senior
then we
night?
had Parents' Night on top of that. So we've still got a full night of basketball for you as the Vikings are getting ready to take on the Durand Panthers. Viking comes into tonight's game with a record of 7-8 overall. They're 3-5 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Panthers are 13-3, 8-0, sitting on top of the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Panthers are a little bit shorthanded tonight. Ethan Herbert. He needs to Heelbert.
Yeah,
But, he's
yeah,
got
yeah.
an injured something with his leg. He's on crutches, so he won't be in tonight's game. That takes 13 points out of their lineup.
Yeah, that's going to be, that'll help Colfax out a little bit. You know, they're going to have to, Colfax is going to have to get out and transition early and try to jump out to an early lead and then just control the ball, keep it out of Durand's hands, and try to be one and done on the boards.
Well, Dan, why don't you give us the starting lineups for tonight's game?
Yeah, here's the starters for Durand Panthers. They're going to with senior number 3, Simon Bauer. Junior number 11, Zach Nelson. Junior number 12, Dre Bauer. Senior number 23, Gunnar Herbert. And senior number 25, Ethan Feedy. For the Colfax Vikings, they got a little bit of a difference tonight. We got senior number 2, Nate Hajdukovic. Senior number 4, Bryce Sikora. Senior number 22, Tristan Lenz. Senior number 24, Ryan Albrecht. And the change will be Nick Jensen. Number 42 will start for Elijah Ensminger.
Okay. And we've got the Durand Pep Band playing the Durand fight song, which is the same as on Wisconsin. And then we're going to have the national anthem and player introductions.
Alva Mater.
What's that?
Alva Mater theme song from Oakland Memorial.
Oh, that's true. Oh, and then it was called On Memorial.
Right.
And we do have a color guard and a flag team going to bring
Good
in
evening,
the flags,
ladies and
and
gentlemen.
we'll send it down to the
Welcome
scores
to Durand
table.
High School for tonight's Dunn St. Croix Conference matchup between the visiting Colfax Vikings and your Durand Panthers. Durand High School, the Dunn St. Croix Conference, and the WIAA require good sportsmanship at education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. Thank you. At this time, would you please stand, if able, and remove your hats as we honor America and the men and women of service who sacrificed for our freedoms. As the Durand High School Pep Band, under the direction of Miss Lauren Peterson, proudly performs our national anthem. Presenting our nation's colors is the Silver Saber Color Guard under the leadership of Sergeant Sarah Schraub.
And that was the Silver Saber Color Guard presenting the colors for the national anthem. And now right back down to the scores table for the starting lineups.
Now for tonight's starting lineups for the Vikings and Coach Noel. A 6'2" senior guard, number 2, Nick Dukovic. A 5'10" senior guard, number 4, Bryce Sikora. A 6'5" senior forward, number 22, Tristan Lenz. A 6'1" senior guard, number 24, Ryan Albright. A 6'3" junior forward, number 42, Nick Jensen. The Vikings are assisted by Tristan Kittleson, Nick Height, and Brett Prince. Now for Coach Radetsky and his starting Panthers. A 5'8" senior guard, number 3, Simon Bauer. A 6'2" junior forward, number 11, Zach Nelson. A 6' junior guard, number 12, Trey Bauer. A 6'4" senior forward, number 23, Gunnar Howard. A 5'11" senior forward, number 25, Ethan Feedy.
So there's the starting lineups for tonight's game for the Vikings again. Hajdukovic, Sikora, Lenz, Albright, Jensen. Elijah Ensminger nursing a minor injury. He's available for tonight, but they're going to start Nelson instead. It's Bauer, Nelson, Bauer, Hurlburt, and Feedy for the Durand Panthers. Zach Nelson jumping, but the tip is controlled by the Vikings. Sikora with the ball. He's on the left side, high, wide, and left. Feeds it over to the right side to Hajdukovic. Down in the corner to Lenz. Back out to Hajdukovic. Out into the center circle to Sikora.
Durand's
over to Hajdukovic.
Durand's in zone. 1-3-1.
Sikora with it. Top of the key. Over to the right wing. And the ball gets knocked away by Gunnar Hurlburt and down the floor come the Panthers. It's Dre Bauer on the dribble. Gets it over to Simon Bauer. Bauer feeds it back over to Dre. Tries to get to Gunnar Hurlburt in the lane and a misconnection. It goes out of bounds. Back the ball goes all the way into the concession stand. Better check Hajdukovic to see if he's got a hot dog with him when he comes back. That's right, they didn't have, he could have had pizza.
Yeah.
All right, Sikora with the ball, gets it over to the left side. Back out to Sikora. Gets it out to Jensen. Jensen gets it to Hajdukovic, tries to go up with it, but the ball is knocked out of bounds by Simon Bauer.
Yeah, we are the hot dog connoisseurs.
We are. Sikora inbound, looking for somewhere to go. Long pass out to Albright at the top of the key. Gets it out to Hajdukovic, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound, taken down by Zach Nelson, and Nick Jensen got called for over the back. That's the first foul on anybody tonight. And down the floor come the Panthers. That's Simon Bauer, gets it over to Dre Bauer on the left. Back over to Simon on the right, over into the right corner. Shot goes up and in by Zach Nelson. And Durand has the first points of the night, 3-0. Sikora with it. Tries to take it in the lane. Ball got knocked loose, but he picked back up to Hajdukovic. Cross-court pass over to Albright. Back to Sikora. He's at the top of the key. Feeds it down low to Lenz. And Lenz got tied up, and we're going to get a jump ball called. Lenz got tied up by Gunnar Hurlburt.
Yeah, Colfax is going to have to work the outside for a little bit. Get some shots up to pull Durand out. Right now, everybody's sucking down and there's nothing inside.
Zach Nelson with it. And the Vikings come away with the ball. Fed to Sikora, down on the baseline, puts it up and in. Vikings on the board. It's 3-2. Durand on top. Simon Bauer over to Nelson, to Hurlburt. It's over to Feedy. Back out to Bauer, who's on the left side. Takes it to the top of the key. Gets it to Hurlburt. He's at the top of the key. Now over to Feedy on the left. To Nelson from the left elbow. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down by Lenz. Down the floor comes Sikora. Gets it to Hajdukovic, lays it up, it's no good. Put back shot by Lenz is good, and the Vikings are on top 4-3.
Yeah, good follow by Lenz.
Panthers have it on the right side. That's Bauer getting it over to Hurlburt. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound chased down by the Vikings. Sikora with it. He's on the left wing, gets it to Lenz in the lane, puts it up a little short. Hurlburt with the rebound. Quickly back down the floor come the Panthers. Hurlburt into the lane. We're going to get a whistle and a foul.
Ooh.
And it's going to be a call on Albright. And Coach Noel is questioning that. Like, what does he have to do to be planted? Shot goes up. It's good by Hurlburt. And so when the official and the coach are both laughing at the end, I guess everything's okay. Second shot was no good. It's 4-4. And we have a whistle and a foul. Foul's on Hajdukovic. As Nelson was trying to come around, Hajdukovic nudged him with the body. Nelson inbounds it to Hurlburt. Cross court to the right side, and now they get it down underneath to Nelson. He puts it up, rattles around and goes in. 6-4, Durand on top. Vikings come down the floor. Sikora with the ball. Feeds it over to the right wing to Hajdukovic. Back out to Sikora. Sikora down into the right corner. Now they get it to Lenz on the baseline. He lays it up. The ball didn't go in, but he got fouled on the way up. Foul's going to be on Zach Nelson. His first personal. First team foul on Durand. First shot by Tristan Lenz is no good. Second shot on the way, it's good.
Lane violation?
And it was a lane violation against the Vikings. So the score remains 6-4. Okay, we got our microphones back. I don't know what's going on with them, but something wasn't cooperating. Durand coming down the floor. We're going to get a blocking foul being called on Nelson. He can't believe the call.
Yeah, I think Nick wasn't set yet. He was trying to get there, but it's a big body to get set.
So the free throw is up and good. It's Nelson at the line for the Panthers.
That'll be Jensen's second.
And the 4th team foul on the Vikings. Shot goes up and good. 8-4. Durand on top. Bring the ball down the floor. Sikora takes it across the timeline. Circles around and
We got a foul.
we get a foul. And the foul's on Dre Bauer. It'll be his first, 2nd team foul. Swanson checking in for Jensen.
This is kind of a new look for Colfax tonight. We're going big right away. Jensen, Lenz, Swanson.
Sikora on the dribble at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Lenz on the left side, down into the left corner to Hajdukovic. Cross-court pass over to Ensminger. Ensminger spins, gets it back out to Sikora. Then taking it into the lane. We're going to get Hajdukovic with a travel. Must have taken a shuffle step before he took off. So Simon Bauer with it. He brings it down the floor. Over to Nelson. Then it's to Anibus. Back to Simon Bauer at the top of the key. Over to the right side. That's Tron. Back to Dre Bauer. Ball gets knocked loose. Ensminger with it. He's got to take it across the timeline with him. Sikora with it now. High, wide, and left. Double team there. Feeds it to Lenz. Back to Sikora. Down into the left corner to Ensminger. 3-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound taken down by the Durand. They've got the numbers. They feed it to Nelson. He goes up. Shot's good. And he drew the foul. And the foul's on Ensminger. It's his first.
That's a bad foul on Ensminger. It's too little.
Shot goes up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Sikora. Across the timeline. Gets to the top of the key. Feeds it to Lenz. Lenz with a 3-pointer on the way. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Swanson. He tried to put it back up and knocked away by Durand. Down the floor they come. Putting it up. It's no good. Anibus with the layup. Missed it. And the Vikings come down high, wide, and left is Sikora. To Lenz in the center circle. Back over to Sikora on the left side. Back to Lenz, top of the key. Back to Sikora. Down into the left corner to Hajdukovic. And he put it in.
That's Nate's first 2.
So Durand has it on the left side. This is Dre Bauer. Gets it out high to Tron. 3-pointer on the way off the back of the air. No good. Lenz with the rebound. 10-6. Vikings trail by 4, but they have the ball. Sikora across the timeline. Takes it down the right side into the right corner to Ensminger. Out high to Lenz. Lenz gets it to Sikora. Sikora at the top of the key and drew a foul. That foul is going to be on Dre Bauer. I think that's his second.
Second.
It's also the third foul on Durand. Herbert back in the lineup for Durand. Gives Nelson a break. Jensen back in for the Vikings and gives Tristan Lenz a break. Sikora has the ball. Across the timeline, stops at the top of the key. Gets it out to Jensen. Jensen looking for somewhere to go. Feeds it down into the corner, but he missed the corner and hit the stage.
Colfax has to make sure they get back on defense. Durand has gotten some quick outlet passes and gotten to the rim.
Simon Bauer on the dribble across the timeline for Durand. He's at the top of the key, puts up the 3. He hit it. 13-6, Durand on top. Sikora at the top of the key. Gets it to Jensen between the circles. Back to Sikora. Sikora circles around, gets it to Hajdukovic, puts up the three, no good. Jensen with the rebound, right back to Hajdukovic, puts it up, no good. And down on the floor comes Durand. This is Simon Bauer. Puts up the three, he hit it again. Simon Bauer's caught fire from three. 16-6, Durand up by 10. Down low to the right corner to Ensminger. Back out high to Sikora. Back to Ensminger in the right corner. Thought about the three. Back out to Sikora. To Jensen at the free throw line. Over to Hajdukovic on the left side. Tries the baseline, puts it up and in.
That's what Colfax has to do. Keep the ball moving. Get Durand offset a little bit there.
16-8. Vikings down by 8. Simon Bauer takes it into the paint. Backs out. Hands it off to Tron. Down underneath. The shot is up and good by Anibus.
His first two.
18-8. Sikora to Jensen. Back to Sikora. Sikora with the three-pointer. He hit the three! Bryce Sikora with a three-pointer. 18-11. Simon Bauer. He gets it over to Anibus. Down underneath to Hurlburt. He puts it up and in.
Too easy.
And we have a timeout being called by the Vikings. So the timeout on the floor, it's Durand 20, Vikings 11. Your turn to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Switched it.
Yeah, back here at Durand High School. Vikings trailing 20-11. Sikora has the ball for the Vikings, gets it across the timeline, gets it over to Jensen, who tips it out to Ensminger. Ensminger on the right side, gets it to Albright. Trying the right baseline, cross-court pass to Sikora, to Lenz. On the left side, gives it back to Sikora, back out high to Jensen. Jensen to the free throw line. Back out to Ensminger. Shot goes up. It's good. He hit the three. 20-14. Vikings cut it to 6. Down the floor comes Dre Bauer. Feeds it over to Feedy. Feedy at the top of the key. Stops. Gets it out to Hurlburt. Down underneath the Anibus and lays it up and in. Vikings get the ball down into the forecourt. Jensen has it, feeds it out to Sikora. Over to Albright, to Lenz. Down in the left baseline. Now to Jensen in the paint, out to Sikora. To Albright, puts up a three, no good. Rebound. Coming away with it is Ensminger, but he threw it across, and we're going to get an over and back call against the Vikings.
Right, the big man for Colfax has to make sure they protect this baseline. Robert and Ethan Anibus have found their way in.
Tron inbounds it. And the ball gets out of bounds, and it'll be Viking ball. Hurlburt couldn't quite handle it.
He was looking to score. Looked at the hoop.
Before he caught the ball.
Before he caught the ball.
All right, Vikings inbound it. Ensminger with it. Brings it up across the timeline. To Jensen. Then over onto the left side. Three-pointer on the way by Hajdukovic. And it's no good. Tipped out of bounds on the rebound. Last touch by Tristan Lenz. Nelson back into the lineup, as well as Simon Bauer. This is Bauer on the dribble. Feeds it over to Hurlburt on the right side, to Nelson. To Feedy on the right side, takes it into the paint, gets it out to Simon Bauer. Shot goes up, it's no good, and the Vikings come away with it. Feed it down to Nelson, it's intercepted by Hurlburt. He's got quite the wingspan, and he feeds it, and the ball doesn't bounce up off the floor like he thought it would, and goes out of bounds. Vikings have it. Now Hurlburt, he's 6'3", but I think his arms have like an 8-foot wingspan. It's a long ways. Vikings have the ball. Sikora with it. Takes it over to the right side, gets it down to the right corner to Ensminger. Ensminger feeds it back out to Sikora. Sikora out to the center circle. Takes it to the top of the key. To Ensminger, three-pointer off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Nelson. Down the floor he comes on the left side. Fans here thought maybe that should have been a travel. Shot goes up by Anibus, is no good. Vikings come away with the rebound.
Yeah,
quickly down the floor they come. Passes a little bit behind Ensminger, but he gets it back. Sikora has it now, top of the key. Over to the left side. Hajdukovic puts up a three, no good. Rebound taken down by Durand. Simon Bauer underneath the feet, and the shot gets blocked. Rejected by Nick Jensen. Just like my experience asking for Valentine's dates, nothing but a rejection. Then they get it to Hurlburt, puts it up and in.
Gunners got 5.
24-14, Durand by 10. Sikora with it, gets it into the forecourt to Ensminger. Ensminger back to Sikora. He's practically on the center line. Now he brings it to the top of the key, to the right elbow, tries to feed it over, ball gets knocked away by Nelson, and he drags his pivot foot, and the official on the far side saw it. 2 officials over here, neither one of them saw it, but the one on the far side did.
I saw it. Left side to Ensminger, up top to Sikora. Jumper, and he hits it. Bryce Sikora with a nice jumper for 2. 24-16, Durand. Bauer with the ball, left side to Nelson, goes long, and Lenz caught it out of bounds. It'll be Durand ball. So, Durand will get it underneath. Bauer will throw it in. Right side to Nelson, and we got a foul. We got a foul on Sikora. That'll be his first. $16 foul. Bauer will throw it in underneath. Takes a look, gets it out to Gunner on the left side. Goes baseline, and Swanson draws a card. Gunner doesn't like that call. So Colfax has got the ball. Sikora comes on the right side. Left side to Hajdukovic. Takes the top of the key. Left side to Ensminger. Takes a look. Takes a baseline. Puts it up over Hurlburt. No good. Skip pass ahead to Bauer. Simon Bauer. He pulls it back. Resets. Right side to Anibus. Top to Nelson. Takes a look. Hands it off to Gunnar Hurlburt. He takes a look. Drives base or paint. No good. Picked up by Tristan Lenz. He gets it left side to Sikora. Ball, Sikora over to Hajdukovic, left side to Ensminger. Swanson comes and sets a screen for Ensminger. Picked up by Herbert. Right side to Sikora. Sikora with a three. That's way long. It'll be Durand ball. 2:58 left in the first half. Subs for Albrecht for Colfax. So here comes Simon Bauer. He goes down the paint, puts it up, no good. And we got a battle for the ball, and we got to follow on Bauer.
And a little recap for you. Evidently, when our computer issues happened at the beginning of our broadcast, it knocked our stream off, and we thought it was on, but it wasn't. And so we're at 24-16. Vikings trailing, but it's been actually a more closely battled game than what the score indicates. With about 2.5 minutes to go in the first half, ball gets knocked to the floor, and we're going to get a foul on Hajdukovic. His second personal. So at the line is Nelson. His shot goes up, it's no good. Swanson with the rebound, gets it to Albright, to Sikora. Sikora brings it down the floor across the timeline. Vikings trailing by 8. Sikora tries to feed it to the baseline to Swanson, and I don't think Swanson even saw it coming. It went right through his hands.
Yeah, Sikora should have shot that one. Try to get a little cute to Swanson.
Simon Bauer on the dribble. He's got it at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Anibus. Back over to Nelson on the right side. Nelson high, wide, and right. Now he takes it to the free throw line, puts the jumper up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Lenz. Down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora feeds it down to the right corner to Ensminger. Jumpers up and good! Ensminger cuts it to 6 with 1:48 to go in the first half, and a timeout being called by the Durand Panthers. Timeout on the floor. Durand 24, Vikings 18. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Back here at Durand High School, Rick Olson along with Dan Petrow, Jeff Gust on the camera. Down the floor comes Durand. Simon Bauer on the dribble. Feeds it over to Anibus, down into the lane to Hurlburt. Hurlburt pivots, tries to put it up, doesn't. Gets it back out high, Nelson has it, feeds it into the lane to Bauer. To Anibus, loses the handle in the lane, gets it back out to Bauer on the right side. Takes it towards the lane to Anibus, back to Bauer. Bauer feeds it over to Tron. Tron with the jumper from the left side, he hit it. Parker Tron. Or check that, that was Ethan Feedy. Ethan Feedy on that jumper. Ensminger with the ball. Feeds it over to the left side to Albright, to Lenz at the top of the key.
See if they hold for one.
Sikora to Albright. Albright at the top of the key. Gets it over to Sikora on the right side. He takes it to the free throw line. Spin, puts the shot up from the lane. No good. Rebound. Taken down by Durand. Nelson feeds it over to Bauer. Then to Anibus. He puts it up and it's good.
Colfax has to get back.
Just under 30 seconds to go in the half. Coming up at halftime, we will have a Viking profile and the Colfax High School report. 18 seconds. Albright with the dribble between the circles to Ensminger. Ensminger takes it over to the left side, 9 seconds. Ensminger tried to take it in the lane, lost the ball, shot goes up, it's no good. And out of bounds with 1.4 seconds remaining.
So that was Durand fans' problem right there, because they told Colfax there was 4 seconds left. Gunnar Herbert heard that
and believed it, because they were trying
to
to get Colfax to pull an early trigger.
So Colfax will get one more shot.
Shot is on the way, it's no good. So we've reached halftime with the score. The Durand Panthers 28, Vikings 18. And we'll be back with Viking halftime right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Nick Jensen, junior here at Colfax High School. And Nick, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in some other activities here at school?
I partake in student council, FFA, and, I like to get into activities as much as I can to try to lead the school.
Okay, so when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
We started about 3rd grade, and I've had really a lot of fun, a lot of hard work. I love my teammates. I've had a good group of juniors with me my whole career, and hopefully we can have some good years left.
And what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Probably hard work and being physical.
Okay, so when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that you're interested in that keep you occupied?
Definitely, I work a lot, and I like to go spend time with my football team and lift in the mornings, so I stay busy.
Okay, some rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
The flavor?
Chocolate chip.
Oh, the All-American standby, right?
Yeah.
Okay, your favorite color and why?
Orange, because it's my hair color.
All right, that'll work. Now, if you could have a superpower, what would that be and why?
Flying.
Why?
I don't know, because I want to get places fast.
Okay. Now, with a superpower like that, of course you have to have a superhero name. So what's Nick's superhero name?
The Red Rocket.
Red Rocket. Okay. Favorite NBA team?
Bucks.
And favorite collegiate team?
Badgers.
All right, and we're talking with Nick Jensen here on Viking Profile. And Nick, what are your plans for after high school?
I most likely will be attending River Falls for agricultural business and taking over the farm.
All right, and how about a shout out to the family?
I'd like to thank my mom and dad for helping me, motivate me to go to practice, and my sisters that go to Eau Claire and lacrosse for always pushing me to do better.
Okay, and when people watch Viking games, where are they going to find Nick Jensen on the floor?
Most likely at center, getting rebounds.
Owning the paint.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we want to thank Nick Jensen for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that he's a good person. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, it starts to work itself out.
Time now for the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
The Colfax Vikings athletics continued a busy schedule last week. However, COVID forced some flexibility in scheduling as well. The Viking boys had to postpone their game last Tuesday against the Spring Valley Cardinals due to COVID at Spring Valley. That game has been rescheduled as part of a boys then girls doubleheader on February 17th. Then on Thursday, the Viking boys defeated the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 55-43. That win leaves the boys with a record of 6 wins and 7 losses on the season and 3-4 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. The Viking girls split a pair of games last week. On Tuesday, they traveled to Mondovi where they defeated the Buffaloes 54-35. Then on Friday, the Viking girls suffered their first conference loss of the season when the Durand Panthers topped the Vikings 57-46. Those games leave the Vikings with an overall record of 15 wins and 2 losses and an 8-1 record in the Dun St. Croix Conference. This week, Viking basketball teams have another busy schedule with a total of 6 games. This includes a boys then girls doubleheader followed by a broadcast doubleheader. On Monday, the Viking boys will travel to Prairie Farm to play in part 1 of the boys then girls doubleheader against the Prairie Farm Panthers. Part 1 of this doubleheader will begin with Viking pregame at 5:25 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The game will be followed by the girls game shortly after. Then on Tuesday, the boys will travel to Mondovi to take on the Buffaloes. This will be part 1 of a broadcast doubleheader with Viking pregame beginning at 6:55 and the girls versus Altoona following the boys game. The Viking boys wrap up their week on Friday when they travel to Durand to take on the Panthers. We are carrying that game live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. On Monday, the girls will travel to Prairie Farm to play in part 2 of a boys-girls doubleheader against the Prairie Farm Panthers. Coverage of this game will begin shortly following the conclusion of the boys' game at approximately 6:55 p.m. Then on Tuesday, the girls will host the Altoona Railroaders. This will be part 2 of a broadcast doubleheader with same-day coverage of the girls' game beginning following the boys at Mondovi. That will be approximately 9:30 p.m. The Viking girls will wrap up their week by hosting the Boyceville Bulldogs on Thursday. We're carrying that game live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. On Saturday, the Bloomer Colfax Raptors will travel to Cadott to take part in the Clover Belt Conference Wrestling Tournament. Now, coming up next week, the Viking boys basketball team will have 3 games. On Monday the 7th, the boys will travel to the Thorpe Cardinals in a makeup game that was originally scheduled for December 3rd. Then on Thursday the 10th, they will host the Boyceville Bulldogs. And on Saturday, the boys will wrap up their week by hosting the Osceola Chieftains. We'll carry all 3 of these games live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The Viking girls are scheduled for 2 games next week. On Tuesday, the 8th, they will travel to Spring Valley to take on the Cardinals. And then on Friday the 11th, the girls will host the Elk Mound Mounders. This game could determine the champion of the Dun St. Croix Conference. We will carry those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. In other school news, the Viking dance team will compete at the state dance competition in La Crosse on Saturday. The FBLA Regional Leadership Conference will be held also on Saturday. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School for the week of January 31st through February 5th.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
And we're back here at Durand High School getting ready to start the second half. The Durand Panthers leading the Vikings 28-18. And Dan, I'll be honest with you, although the Vikings are trailing by 10, they were in that first half. They were scrapping.
They got to do a little better job of getting back on defense. Durand's gotten a bunch of points off transition, and when I started this broadcast with you tonight, I said Colfax has to get out in transition and get some early points. And yeah, they just got to make sure they get back. They're right in this game yet, though.
So we're getting ready to start. The Vikings out on the floor. Out on the floor right now for the Vikings are Ensminger, Sikora, Hajdukovic, Jensen, and Lenz. And for Durand, it's Simon Bauer, Dre Bauer, Nelson, Hurlbert, and Feedy.
Colfax matches up, man.
Dre Bauer, lob pass into Nelson, who puts it up and in. It's actually a pretty nice looking play.
Yeah, I thought he jumped too early, but it was perfect.
Vikings bring it down the floor. Hajdukovic over into the left corner to Ensminger. Drives the baseline, puts it up and answers. Elijah Ensminger with the answer points. Nelson with it, down in the left corner for Durand. Gets it out to Bauer. Bauer feeds it over to Hurlbert, drives the lane, puts it up. It does not go, but we do get a whistle and a foul. And the foul is going to be on Nick Jensen.
His third.
So third on Jensen, first on the Vikings for the half. Hurlbert's shot is up and no good. Gunnar Hurlbert. Second shot, no good. Rebound. Picked off the floor by Hajdukovic, and he brings it across the timeline. Gets it to Sikora in the center circle.
And we're up and good with Ensminger. So he'll go to the line. Foul's going to be on number 11, Zach Nelson, his second.
So Ensminger at the line. His shot goes up, it's no good. Bauer with the rebound, gets it to Nelson down on the left side. Tries the left baseline, it's nothing there. Sends it back out to Hurlbert, takes it into the paint. Feeds it back out. That's to Dre Bauer. Over to Nelson, top of the key. To Hurlbert on the left side. Pass underneath to Feedy. Goes out of bounds, and it'll be, well, it was tipped by the Vikings. Swanson into the lineup for the Vikings. Jensen takes a break. Hurlbert has it out high. Gets it over to the left wing to Dre Bauer. Underneath to Hurlbert, out to Nelson, and he hits the three-pointer. 33-22, Durand on top by 11. Ensminger with it, tries to get it over to Hajdukovic, and the pass gets knocked out of bounds. So it'll be Viking ball. Sikora with it, gets it into Ensminger, back to Sikora. Sikora across the timeline, over to the right side to Hajdukovic. Tries to take it to the lane, lost the handle on the ball, and Durand picks it up. Simon Bauer down to Nelson at the baseline. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound. Hurlbert picks it up off the floor. Vikings come away with it after that shot. It is no good. Sikora into the paint, tries to lay it up, and got fouled going up by Hurlbert. He thought he had the shot blocked, but he got a little bit of Sikora going up at the same time. Bryce Sikora 5'10" senior at the line for two. First one's on the way. It's good.
That's Gunner's second foul.
Anibus into the lineup for the Panthers, replacing Feedy. Second shot on the way. It's off the back of the iron. No good. Nelson with the rebound, gets it over to Simon Bauer. Bauer across the timeline, feeds it over to the right side. This is Dre Bauer. Back to Nelson, takes it into the paint, tries to go up. We're going to get a whistle and a foul.
Falls on Nate Hajdukovic. His third.
That should be his third?
Third.
Second team foul on the Vikings.
Albrecht will have to come in for him.
First shot on the way is no good by Nelson. And you're right, Albright into the lineup for Hajdukovic. His second shot is on the way. It's off the front of the iron, no good. Albright with the rebound. Gets it to Sikora. Sikora down the floor. He's got it across the timeline over to Albright on the right side. He's high, wide, and right. Tries to get it out to Lentz. The ball got tipped. Durand has it. Nelson takes it down, lays it up and in. Fingertip roll over the top of the rim. Quickly, the Vikings come back down. Ensminger tries to lay it up. Rebound goes to Durand. They feed it to Bauer. He gets a shot to go in and a foul at that.
Sikora chickened out on the charge. I thought he was going to get there in time, and he did, but he kind of slid.
And we have a timeout on the floor called by the Vikings. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
On those days when you're hankering for something that's delicious and nutritious, simply stop by FitFam Nutrition in Colfax. They serve Herbalife meal replacement shakes, metabolism-boosting teas and protein coffees. They taste as good as they sound, and they're healthy. Come and visit the Bentons and let them prepare for you a simply sweet treat, or something for the chocoholic or coffee lover in you. FitFem is a slam dunk. That's FitFem Nutrition, complete with one-on-one wellness coaching and business opportunities. 1020 University Avenue in Colfax.
We're back here at Durand. Simon Bauer to go to the line. Durand on top, 37-23. Bauer's shot is good. 38-23. Vikings trail by 15.
Full court press by Durand.
Sikora with it. Gets it across the timeline to Albright, to Ensminger. Back to Sikora. Back to Ensminger, high, wide, and right. To Albright. To Jensen on the left side. Jensen back to Ensminger. To Albright, to Jensen, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Anibus.
That'll be his first.
Third team foul on Durand. Vikings to inbound. Sikora with it. Gets it into Ensminger. Out to Albright, high, wide, and right. Back to Ensminger on the right wing. Out high to Sikora in the center circle. Back over to Ensminger. He's on the right side. Back out to Albright, to Jensen on the left. Jensen to Ensminger to Albright. Albright tries to penetrate. Ball gets knocked away. It gets knocked away again. And last touch by the Vikings as it rolls out of bounds. Durand knocked the ball away. Vikings knocked it right back, but then nobody could pick it up. So Simon Bauer has it, crossing the timeline for the Durand Panthers. To Dre Bauer, to Hurlburt on the left side. To Anibus, and we have an offensive foul. Must be a moving screen from where that was called.
Zach Nelson. Or no, Dre Bauer.
And that's the third foul on Bauer, and he's going to have a seat. Parker Tron comes in. Vikings inbound to Ensminger, back to Sikora. Back to Ensminger, still in the backcourt to Sikora. Brings it across the timeline. On the right side, pulls up, puts up a jumper, he hit it.
Pretty shot there by Sikora.
38-25. Durand has it on the left side. Simon Bauer at the free throw line from the right elbow, puts it up, no good. Rebound, hauled down by Hurlburt. He puts it up again, no good. Ball gets tipped around. Coming away with it and throwing it out of bounds where the Panthers, Hurlburt had it, tried to get it over to Simon Bauer, missed the connection, and the Vikings will get it out of bounds.
Yeah, good job by Jensen and Lenz to bottle up the inside.
Ensminger on the dribble in the backcourt. Feeds it into the forecourt, but it gets knocked away. Picked up by Bauer, puts it up, it's good, and a foul being called on Sikora.
That's going to be Sikora's third.
(40-25), and Simon Bauer at the line for the +1. He missed it. Lenz with the rebound. Quickly down the floor is Sikora. He gets it to Albright, puts up the three, he hit the three! Albright with a three-pointer.
That's his first three of the game.
40-28. Hurlburt takes it down the baseline, puts it up, it's no good. Tried the reverse layup, it didn't go. And the Vikings come back down the floor. It's Sikora with it. Pulls up the jump shot. It's no good. Lenz with the rebound, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. Fouls on Anibus.
His second.
And that's the fifth foul on Durand. Sikora gets it into Albright. Three-pointer on the way. He missed it. Overshot that one a little bit. Bauer with it to Hurlburt in the right corner. Back out to Anibus. Over to the left side. That's Nelson. Back to Hurlburt. Three-pointer on the way is no good. Rebound taken down by Tron. Ball's loose on the floor. Still loose on the floor. Finally picked up by the Vikings. Ensminger with it. Almost lost the handle. Gets it back to Sikora. Back to Ensminger. Three-pointer. He hit that long three-pointer. Elijah Ensminger cuts it to 9. You know, the longer the Vikings hang around, the more likely strange things could happen. Gunnar Hurlburt gets it over to Anibus. To Nelson. On the right side, over to the left side to Tron. Three-pointer on the way is no good. Rebound. Taken down by Sikora. Gets it over to Ensminger. Back out to Sikora. Sikora takes it to the free throw line. Tried to go up with the ball. Got knocked loose. But we got a foul.
I believe it's going to be on Bauer.
That's going to be on Simon Bauer.
His second.
(40-31).
So is that bonus?
Bryce Sikora at the line. First shot off the back of the iron.
What's the call? on that? Is that a bonus shot? Or are we shooting two?
I think he's shooting two. I think they called it a shooting foul. And we have a timeout on the floor called by the Durand Panthers. So with a timeout on the floor, the score Durand 40, Vikings 32. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Back here at Durand High School, Vikings have closed it to 8. Durand on top, 40-32. Feedy to inbound the ball for the Panthers, gets it to Simon Bauer. Feeds it over to the left side to Dre Bauer, back out to Simon. Back over to Dre. Feeds it down to the baseline to Anibus, back to Simon. Over to the right side to Tron, three-pointers, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Down the floor comes Sikora. Feeds it off to Ensminger. Thought about one way, went the other. Now feeds it over to Albright. On the left side, Albright's high, wide, and left. To Lenz at the top of the key. Back out high to Sikora. Then to Ensminger, three-pointer off the back of the iron. Quickly down the floor comes Simon Bauer. He puts a shot up and it's in. Simon Bauer has some serious quickness in him. Down the floor, Jensen takes it down the baseline. We're going to get a whistle and a foul called on Jensen. Kind of put his shoulder into him.
That's a tough one. That's going to be 4 on him.
So quickly checking in is Nate Hajdukovic.
I don't know. I don't think Durand was set there.
And down the floor comes Simon Bauer. Tries to split the defense. Got hung up, but the ball got loose and picked up by Anibus and put in. 44-32. Hajdukovic with it. Ball gets tapped out of his hands, but right into Sikora's hands. Pull-up jumper is good. 44-34. Vikings keeping it within 10. Simon Bauer over to Dre Bauer, feeds it down to the left baseline to Anibus. To Feedy in the paint, gets it out to Tron. Over to Simon Bauer to Dre Bauer on the left side, underneath to Anibus. Back out to Simon, three-pointer on the way, off the iron, no good. Ball gets tipped around and chased down by Durand. This is Dre Bauer with a three, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Albright for the Vikings. Sikora with it. He gets it over to the right side to Ensminger. Ensminger to Hajdukovic. To Sikora, puts up the three, no! And the ball hit the pipe coming down that holds the backboard.
That was a good look there by Colfax.
And we have a timeout being called by the Vikings. So with a timeout on the floor, it's Durand 44, Vikings 34. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Pleasant Valley Properties provides affordable housing and homes in communities in Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. They have staff available to help you locate the home that best meets your needs and desires, as well as service staff that maintains the properties. Contact Pleasant Valley Properties at 715-226-6200. Call today and let them help you get into the home of your dreams. That's Pleasant Valley Properties, 301 Bremer Avenue in Colfax.
We're back at Durand High School. The Durand Panthers leading the Vikings 34-34. Always learn to say the big number first. Simon Bauer with it out between the circles for the Panthers. Feeds it over to the left side to Dre Bauer. Then to Feedy, then to Nelson coming in. Shot got blocked, but they're going to get Lenz with a foul. He got him with the body. It's a pretty nice looking block, except they made some body contact.
You know, I've noticed that in the last probably 5-6 games, Lenz is kind of coming on. Kind of feels like he's understanding what's going on. And
that's only the first foul on Lenz tonight. 6th team foul. Both teams will be in the bonus from here on out. First shot by Nelson is good. Second shot, it's also good. 46-34. Vikings have it. Hajdukovic with it between the circles, over to the right side, stopping in the paint is Sikora, and he lost the handle. They get it to Simon Bauer to Nelson, who lays it up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Lenz has it, gets it to Ensminger on the left side, and he threw it behind Albright.
That's a good play by
but it was
Lenz.
Tipped by Durand, so it'll be Viking ball. Out to Hajdukovic, thought about the three-pointer from the top of the key. They swing it back over to the left side to Lenz. Tries to get it to Hajdukovic in the paint. They do, and he puts it up and in. 46-36, 7:53 to go. Simon Bauer feeds it over to the left side. Down into the lane, that's Nelson putting it up and in. Hajdukovic with it, gets it over to Sikora between the circles. Sikora's pass got blocked right back into his hands. He picks it back up to Ensminger, back to Sikora, splits the defense, gets into a little bit of trouble, gets it back out to Hajdukovic, to Albright, to Sikora.
See if they can suck it over, right? Oh.
And tries to get it down to Ensminger. It's intercepted by Simon Bauer, to Dre Bauer, to Hurlbert, puts it up, no good. Vikings come down the floor with it. Sikora feeds it to Lenz. Spin move, puts it up, it doesn't go. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic. To Albright, puts up the shot, it's no good. Rebound loose on the floor, and we're going to get a foul called on Hajdukovic. He kind of ran into the crowd from behind.
That's going to be his fourth. See if coach leaves him out. Nope.
Jensen's going to come in. Jensen with 4. Takes the place of Hajdukovic with 4. Feedy at the line. Shooting the 1-on-1. First shot's up. It's good. 49-36. Panthers up by 13. Second shot up. It's also good. 50-36. Vikings bring the ball down the floor. Sikora with it. Feeds it over to the right side to Albright. Cross court pass. Look out up here. That's like one of those foul balls you're going after in baseball games there, Dan.
I thought we were going to get it up here.
It was close. Durand with it. Simon Bauer across the timeline. Feeding it over to the right side to Nelson. Cross court pass over to Simon, high, wide, and left. To Hurlbert at the top of the key. To Feedy, into the paint. Gets it out to Dre Bauer, over to Simon. Simon takes it into the paint, lays it up, and it goes in. 52-36. Vikings bring it down the floor. Trailing by 16. Vikings feed it down to the right corner. Then to Lenz, lays it up, puts it in.
Yeah, let's see if they can go back to the Lenz.
Simon Bauer on the dribble. Feeds it over to Feedy on the right side. Lost the handle, gets it back out to Nelson. Nelson to Hurlburt. To the left corner to Bauer. To Hurlburt, puts it up. It's no good. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. I don't know which one it's on. It's on Lenz.
His second.
As Nick Jensen breathes the sigh of relief. Hurlburt's first shot is good. Second shot on the way, it's also good.
Gunner's got 7.
54-38. Sikora gets it down into the corner to Ensminger. Back out to Sikora on the right side to Ensminger. He's on the right wing, now takes it out between the circles. Over to the right wing to Sikora. Back out to Ensminger, he's high. Looking for somewhere to go, gets it over to Albright on the left side. To Jensen, to Sikora, to Ensminger. We get a whistle and a foul. And that's a foul on Nelson.
Simon Bauer's third. Sikora.
Or check that, that was on 3. Okay, I guess the 2 fingers meant 1 and 1. First shot is up, no good. It is the 7th foul, though, on Durand. Hurlburt with it on the left side. Gives it to Nelson. He's between the circles. To Dre Bauer. Out to the right corner, back out to Hurlburt. Hurlburt takes it into the paint, turns, gets it out to Nelson. 3-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Ensminger. Ensminger across the timeline. Gets it to Jensen. Jensen and bottled up a little bit. They get it back out to Sikora. To Ensminger from the right corner. He hit the 3! And he went down hard. And we get a timeout called by the Vikings. 54-41, Durand on top, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
When you've checked that hayfield and find it's time to harvest, give a call to Aaron's Custom Baling. Aaron will provide you with 4x5 net-wrapped round bales. He can even give your bales that spruced up look with select custom netting if you'd like. Serving Western Wisconsin, that's Aaron's Custom Baling. Call 715-202-0118.
Vikings trail by 13 with 4:06 to go.
Yeah, this is where Colfax defense has to really step up.
Feedy inbounds for Durand, gets it to Simon Bauer. Under 4 minutes. They get it over into the left corner. Hurlburt with it, takes it into the paint, spins, puts it up, it's off the iron, no good. Lenz with the rebound. Gets it to Sikora. Sikora takes it down to the elbow, feeds it over to the right side to Ensminger. Ensminger back to Sikora on the right wing to Lenz. Lenz puts the shot up, overlays it. Hajdukovic with the rebound, put back is no good. Rebound taken down by the Panthers. And Simon Bauer has it. He takes it to the free throw line and then backs out between the circles. Nelson with it, high, wide, and right over to the left side. Shot by Dre Bauer is no good, but Hurlburt with the loose ball puts it up, no good. Vikings with it. Long pass down to Ensminger. He puts it up and it's in.
That's what I was talking about that wanted Colfax to do in the first half.
Vikings cut it to 11. Simon Bauer to Dre Bauer on the right side, out to Nelson between the circles. Takes it around to the left side, back out to Simon Bauer, high, wide, and right, or high, wide, and left. 2:38 to go. Bauer with it. Durand very willing to run clock right now. Vikings going out on him, and we get a whistle. We get a timeout call. Timeout on the floor as you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and the score is 54-43 Durand.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came in for!
Our next game will be on February 7th when the Viking boys travel to Thorpe, Wisconsin to take on the Thorpe Cardinals. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with the Viking pregame at 7:10 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on Monday, February 7th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Tuesday, February 8th when the Vikings travel to Spring Valley to take on the Spring Valley Cardinals. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:55 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Tuesday, February 8th.
Back at Durand as the Panthers getting ready to inbound it. They get it to Simon Bauer. Flips it over to Nelson on the left side. Out to Feedy on the left wing. To Hurlbert at the top of the key. To Dre Bauer. Takes it around to Hurlbert at the free throw line. Hands it off to Nelson. Nelson gets it to Simon Bauer. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul called on Hajdukovic with a little bump with the body. He looked upset, but it's because it's his fifth.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
But actually, it's not a bad foul. We're at that point where fouling is probably going to be worthwhile.
So he's going to end the night with 6 points.
Simon Bauer at the line. First shot is on the way. It's no good. Vikings get the rebound. So that was a productive foul for the Vikings. They get it over to the left side. Ensminger puts up the three off the iron, no good. Lenz with the rebound. Feeds it back out. Sikora has it.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get Ensminger, Sikora, or Albright with three.
Albright over to Ensminger. Thought about the three. Gets it over to Sikora. Fakes the three. Takes it into the paint. Puts it up, no good. Jensen with the rebound. Puts it up and in. 54-45. Vikings cut it to 9. Durand with the ball. Minute and a half to go.
Colfax is going to have to
Into the lane is Dre Bauer. He kicks it out to Feedy. Over to Nelson. Nelson gets it off to Hurlbert. They're going to run that weave. Here's Feedy. Vikings going to have to do some fouling. Coach is imploring them, go out and foul.
Got to foul hard.
Let's get it down along the baseline. Coming up on a minute.
Should have been a foul there.
And Durand. Vikings are literally grabbing hold and hugging and not getting the foul called. Finally, Ensminger gets the foul called. Want to know how many times do I have to do this?
Yeah, that was textbook. Durand, end of the game.
54-45. Simon Bauer at the line. And of course, that's the wrong guy to foul.
Right.
Second one on the way. It's no good. Rebound by Lenz. Under a minute.
Colfax has to hustle.
Albright with a three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound taken down by Hurlbert. We get a whistle and a foul right away.
That'll be an Albright.
That's only his second. Dre Bauer goes to the line for the double bonus. First shot on the way. It's no good. 40.4 seconds. Shot goes up. That one's good. 46-45. Down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora with it. Jump shot is good. And Vikings call a timeout. So with a timeout on the floor, you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Time running a little short for the Vikings. Down by 9 with 27 seconds. That's a 3-possession game. This is doable, but things have to go totally right.
Right, yeah, they got to get the foul right away.
Ball comes into Hurlburt.
That's the guy to foul.
And they do get the foul. Down to 22.6. Foul's on Ensminger. Third on him.
But the forward line, he's 1 for 2 from the free throw line.
Dre Bauer's first shot is good. 57-47. Second shot on the way. Off the back of the air, no good. Jensen with it. He gets it to Sikora. Sikora straight down the lane, lays it up and puts it in. 15 seconds left. Inbound pass, and Durand has it. They get it to Hurlburt. He circles around. We have 6 seconds left. 3-2, and that's going to be our final score. The Durand Panthers 57 and the Vikings 49. We'll be back with Viking postgame coming up right after this timeout. You've been tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
Time now for Viking postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. And now, Viking postgame.
Okay, we're back here at Durand High School. Rick Olson here along with Dan Petchow. And Jeff Gust on the camera. And the Vikings drop one, 57-49 to the Durand Panthers. And I'll be honest with you, Dan, that's a big improvement over the last time these two teams met.
Yeah, I think Coach had them kind of figured out. And they definitely made their shots and had good ball movement, got the ball inside. Lens had a good night. It was just too much of a hill to climb after Durand got ahead in the first half.
And the thing is, a couple of passes here and there that just were a little errant. Durand has wingspan on more than Hurlburt. I mentioned his wingspan, but several other players as well were getting in the way. But the Vikings appeared to be much more ready to play tonight than they were last night. And
Colfax, you got to get back on defense. That was kind of what I was hoping in the first half, that Colfax would get out and jump out early.
And it looks like we're going to get Coach Knoll up here. And there you are, Coach. Coach, it's disappointing to come up on the short end of a 57-49 game, but that was a much better performance than the last time these two teams met.
Yeah, a big time different game there. And we've been harping about our focus on our team. We haven't always started off a lot of those games. We've started off slow, and a lot of that's because our focus is low, our intensity is low. And after our last game, we really talked about that after the game. Like we're done. I'm tired of it. We need to start having a better focus. Tonight, I think we had all of our players played about as good as they can play, and that's what we talked about is be. A lot of times you hear people say be good at what you do. We told them to be great at what you're good at. Be great at what you're good at. So, like for example, was Tristan not the best rebounder on the court tonight?
I thought so. Yes.
Yeah, he was a great rebounder tonight. Was Bryce not strong with the basketball, making great plays out there? And we got them out of their 1-3-1 when that's been kind of a struggle of ours. And tonight we handled the 1-3-1 well.
And this Durand team, they're unbeaten in the conference, and they've got some real horses.
Yeah, they do. They've got some. They've got all the pieces. They got a good point guard, a good big, some good wings that are athletic. That's a tough team. Like I told the boys, I'm not mad that we lost by 8. You know what I mean? Because I looked at where we were before and where we are now, and I said if we were to play them again, we now know that we've now raised the bar. Mm-hmm. We've now raised the bar that we now know what we're capable of, and that's the key.
Did anybody ever get out a tape measure and measure the wingspan on Gunnar Hurlburt? I mean, they claim he's 6'3", but that wingspan's got to be about 8 feet.
Yeah, he's a big strong
all of a
kid.
sudden, you guys had all kinds of difficulty trying to penetrate the lane with him in there.
Yeah, and we did a great job. He scored 7 points. I bet you that's probably his lowest of the year. I bet you that's his low of the year. So we did a great job on him. As he, and Big Swanee came in and took a charge. That was big for us.
Mm-hmm.
We harped on those kids about someone taking a charge, and Swanee did that. So I'm very proud of him for doing that.
And you're right. You held him down. He still was a force as you guys were trying to score, and that's where Durand is very powerful. They're all over the place, and I thought you guys held your own beautifully against them. You kept looking like you were going to crawl back in, and it just...
Well, you know what? They got it to... What was the biggest deficit, 15 or 16?
16.
16, and our old team would have gave in,
Right.
This team now, the new mindset, that they didn't give in. They just dug in.
No, if anything, they got
it back to 8.
Yeah, they got their dander up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of the boys in the fact that the effort was great. I'm sad that we didn't win the game, but I like the effort, and we can now grow from that. And that's what this is all about, is growing. And I told you at the very beginning, it's all about growing and growing and growing. So at the end of the season, that we're at our best.
So even though the score doesn't show it, tonight's a step in the right direction.
A step in the right direction, a big one.
Well, I guess then we'll say congratulations, Coach, on a good performance, even if it did come up a little bit short.
Yeah.
And hey,
we'll learn from it, and we'll find a way to keep digging in.
And we'll get a chance to see how you do that against Thorpe on Monday.
Yeah, thank you guys for everything you do. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll have more Viking postgame right after this timeout.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. I love you. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
And we're back here at Durand High School. And Vikings come up on the short end of a 57-49 score. And, Coach Noel sounded like he was reasonably pleased with the performance tonight. So why don't you tell us about that performance with the numbers that you have there, Dan?
Yeah, here's the scores tonight for Durand. Their top scorer was Zach Nelson with 20 points, followed by Simon Bauer with 13. We had Ethan Anibis with 8. Gunnar Herbert with 7, Ethan Feedy with 4, and Dre Bauer with 2. For the Colfax Vikings, they had 2 leaders tonight. Bryce Sikora and Elijah Springer both had 17, followed by Nate Hajdukovic with 6. We had Ryan Albrecht with 3, and Tristan Lenz and Nick Jensen with 2.
And there were a couple of times when the Vikings put up some threes that if they would have got those to fall, and, there were a lot of ifs and could have beens that happened tonight. And, when you can say things like that, it means at least your team was in the game.
Yeah, they got open looks. It took them a while to kind of get in there. The coaches, they kind of started a little slow, and Durand came out hot and fast, and then it was catch up the rest of the game. But yeah, that was a good performance by Colfax.
Well, Dan, we get the weekend to catch our breath finally because, hey, we just got done with 6 games this week, and we're going to turn right around next week. We've got 5 more to do, and it's all going to start on Monday because we need you to join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network Monday night as the Viking boys travel to Thorpe to take on the Thorpe Cardinals in a non-conference matchup. This is the makeup game from the game that was scheduled way back in early December. And our live coverage is going to begin with Viking pregame at, I believe it's 6:55. We'll have to double check that to see what the starting time on that game is. In fact, I'm quite sure it's at Viking pregame starts at 7:10. So mark your calendars there, folks. 7:10 for Viking pregame because the opening tip-off of that game is at 7:30. And that's Colfax boys basketball Monday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Then, don't forget, on Tuesday, we have the Viking girls traveling to Spring Valley to take on the Spring Valley Cardinals. That is a Dunn St. Croix Conference matchup. That's Colfax girls basketball next Tuesday on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The Bloomer Colfax Wrestling Raptors are going to compete tomorrow in the Clover Belt Conference Wrestling Tournament. And that's being held at Cadott High School. I'm sure they'd like some fans to show up and cheer them on. That's over at Cadott High School for the Clover Belt Conference Wrestling Tournament. Don't forget, please, that tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital, Dairy State Bank, Anderson Bridges, Slayton's Technology, Pleasant Valley Properties, Aaron's Custom Baling, Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, Kyle's Buff and Shine. And you make sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. A final score once again, Vikings 49, but it wasn't enough because the Durand Panthers had 57. For Dan Petchow and Jeff Gus, this is Rick Olson. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.